Hey everybody, it's Max. Welcome back to the Art of the Craft. I'm going to be making chicken stock from scratch, but we're going to use a pressure cooker. Once you see how easy and fast it is this way, you're never going to go to the store again. Let's get cooking. You no doubt have had chicken stock at home, but now we're going to see how quick and easy it is to make yourself. There's really two main types of chicken stock. A blonde chicken stock, it's also called a broth, or you have more of a brown, like a stock, something that's a little bit more bold, a little bit more heavy. What's the difference? Well, a broth is a little bit lighter. I would use it more with vegetable dishes or fish dishes when you just kind of need a much more nuanced flavor. And then the stock or the brown is a lot heartier. So if you're gonna be doing stews or braising or have things with bold flavors, that's better for that. So what are the fundamental elements of a chicken stock? Well, it's chicken boiled in water with a French mirepoix. And as we've learned before, a mirepoix is simply onion, carrot, and celery. So how do I get all of my chicken in the first place? Well, I take a big gallon baggie, and anytime I'm breaking down a chicken, I'll save the backbones or the legs or the wing tips, put it in there, stick it in the freezer until I have about 2 carcasses worth of bones. That's when I have enough to make my big stocks. And as you can see here, I've got these look like legs, or the arms, the wings of the chicken. Then I have some backbones. So when I cut out the backbone of a whole chicken, I'll save this. This is a great piece to make stocks with. Something interesting I do is I actually add a few pork bones to my chicken stock. I think it gives it a much deeper flavor. It's almost like a Japanese takatsu broth. If you don't have them, it's perfectly fine just to stick with chicken. So this is kind of variation on a chicken broth. It's probably only 10% pork to 90% chicken, so it's not an overwhelmingly porky flavor. But as you can see, I kept one of the large bones from a pork roast that I did. Here's a spare rib. So if you're doing a blonde or a white chicken stock or broth, you can just go with the raw chicken, throw it in the pressure cooker. It'll cook in there when you have all the heat, but that'll result in a lighter broth, great for fishes and vegetables and things. On the other hand, if you want a little bit more depth of flavor, you're gonna wanna roast all these bones ahead of time, and that's what we're gonna do. While the bones are cooking, let's use this time to brown some of the aromatics. And what I'm gonna do is just take a whole yellow onion here, cut it straight down the middle into 2, and then we're gonna put it in the bottom of a pressure cooker that's on the brown or searing function, just straight down like that. We're gonna do the same thing to a head of garlic. So I have a whole head of garlic here. We'll just cut it in half straight through. Nothing has to be perfect or fancy for this. It's all gonna get cooked together. You see how these are together? But we'll take the whole thing and stick it into the bottom of the pan. And what we're doing is getting a nice sear on the bottom. So let's take a look at the veggies and see where we are about 3 minutes in. Yeah, so this is what our onion looks like. This is exactly what we're looking for from a browning standpoint. And now that the heat's off and we've got the onions and garlic where we want them, this is where I like to toast a few other things that I have in my pantry. So I've got some whole black peppercorns. I'm gonna add, I don't know, maybe about a tablespoon of whole black peppercorns, and we can just throw them in the pot. That heat is gonna toast them. And I've also got some bay leaf, so we can take the bay leaf and do the same thing. This is only one of 100 different variations. You could omit the onion and use ginger, or maybe take out the celery and use lemongrass and have a great Southeast Asian version. The chicken's ready, let's take a look. You see how all the chicken parts are starting to get a good color on them. They're ready to go in the pot at this point, or if you'd like, you can continue to brown them for even more flavor. So I'm gonna take them all, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, just take them and drop them in the pot. So now that all the chicken is in there and our toasted aromatics like the onion and garlic are inside, this is when we add our fresh aromatics as well. So traditionally that mirepoix is the onion already in there. We have some whole celery and some carrots. The great thing about these is that you don't really have to cut them up very small. We're just gonna break them into pieces and drop them right in. Last but not least, I have some fresh herbs that I got out of my garden. This is some parsley, oregano, and I got a little fresh thyme. 1 big pinch of salt, and then we'll start filling it with water. And that's all there is to it. Go ahead and seal up your pressure cooker. You're gonna turn it to high, or about 12.5 PSI. You're gonna cook it there for about 45 minutes to an hour. Opening this up, yes, you're gonna see everything is cooked, all the meat is done inside here. What we wanna do now is separate the aromatics and the proteins and everything from the stock itself. I use one of these, it's a spider, and you can go in and pull out a lot of the bones and vegetables. Now that we have the big pieces out, we're gonna go ahead and pour it into a separate pot with another strainer. The beauty of these chicken parts is we can cook them twice, so let's do it. And this is the perfect time to add extra aromatics if you want to. So I've got an extra onion here and some extra garlic. So let's cut those up and throw them in. Your stock is ready to go. You could use it right away in a risotto or a soup or something. I'm gonna let this reduce just a bit, and then you can adjust for seasoning. You could certainly use salt, soy sauce, fish sauce, something like that to add a little bit of salt to it. If you're looking to mellow out the flavors, you could add a little bit of water to it. And there you have it, homemade chicken stock. Go ahead and fill your freezer with this, and whenever you need it, you'll have it ready to go. Catch you next time.